Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lore Week, where we're apparently starting with randomness. Let's just get it. I For those of you not aware, we do have an ongoing voot. It's actually kind of a long-term voot because of our destiny to voot, and we need to keep that destiny in mind. It's very important. I'm going to remind you about that destiny 70 times. I think the bot is currently set up correctly to send to that. Yeah, there we go. Yes, the bot is currently set up correctly. Thank goodness. So, just type an exclamation mark. Voot. Then you can go ahead and be like, hey! Checking the results really quick. Sorry. Yeah, we still only have 91 voots on that, which means we don't have a particularly large chunk of people. You've got some time. That doesn't come out till like January. We started that during the Bloodborne run, the 497 death run, excuse me, in order to try and, gauge people who would probably be interested in that. So if anybody has an opinion on that, please voot. I do love kolaches. Fortunately, I do not have kolaches. Sorry, So I've got this weird flooding issue, which is just really causing me some issues, and I'm trying to figure out what the heck is going on with it. Whatever. Right now, I'm waiting for the apartment staff to get back to me for the second time and come back and see what they can do about it. And assuming they do nothing about it, I'm going to go ahead and just kind of take that matter into my own hands and figure out what the heck is leaking up through my floor. So that sucks. Anyways, Elden Ring is a Souls-like game being made by FromSoft in a setting that is built by Eclectic Oak. Yeah, I died a few times off screen, but I wasn't keeping track because that was just when I was farming the students. I can't think of this guy's name. There it is, J.R.R. Martin. The setting has been put together and thrown together by J.R.R. Martin, who is not the disgusting person. He's the okay person. Because I always get him confused with Uncle Vernon, and I need to not do that. But yeah, it's a FromSoft game written by the guy who wrote Game of Thrones. There you go. That's what Elden Ring is in one sentence. Thank you, Eclectic Oak, very much, as always. I do very, very much appreciate. Thank you. A leaking pipe? It is almost assuredly not a leaking pipe, which is good, because a leaking pipe would be a much worse situation. A leaking pipe, under these circumstances, would probably mean I just get to live with it until I move. Moment, I gotta write all these down. So that's Horizon Forbidden West, Outer Wilds, and Okami from Eclectic Oak. And then we have Vigilant. Then we have Mana Brent towards Kingdom Hearts 1. And then we have Silver Mask towards Valiant Hearts. Thank you, all three of you, Vigilant, Mana Brent, and Silver Mask, very, very much. Always appreciate. But yeah, it's probably not leaking pipes. It really isn't. What is most likely happening is there is a crack or something similar in the foundation. Because I'm actually up off the ground by about a good 6 inches. And there's probably some of the flooding from the recent downpours has managed to get in there and is managing to leak up through the floor. So, and that is most likely what's happening. That's still not an easy fix, but it is something that can be fixed. Like I said, the worst case scenario is that they will refuse to do anything about it because they're an apartment complex. That's just how apartment complexes work. And in which case, I actually have a carpet knife, and I'll just pull up the carpet myself and pull up the wood and just try to deal with it that way. because I won't be able to fix the core problem, which is the issue with the concrete. That's kind of outside of my wheelhouse. But I will be able to at least pull up the carpet and get rid of the actual flooding. And then when it floods again, I'll deal with it again, and so forth and so on. So that's a little stressful. In more positive side of things, we are definitely getting there with regards to the next theater. I think it's 14. I guess I can just pull up the list right now. Let's just do that really quick. Which I also have hazardous. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 12 or so rolls. They're all one-off rolls. So, I've been working on it, Valerian. If there's anybody who's interested in just doing a one-off line, it's literally one line, all of these characters, please feel free to let me know, or let me know in the Discord, or otherwise be like, hey, because we could totally use more people to fill out those last 12 lines in order to try and get the next theater rolling. Speaking of show-related stuff, I meant to tie this in. I'm just bouncing. I did not sleep. I have not been sleeping well because the space which is flooding is where I sleep. Now, I'm not exactly in water right now. I'm not. That's not the issue. It's just, have you ever smelled water that's seeping up, like flood water? There's a very distinct scent to it. It's almost like stagnant water. It sucks. And sleeping in that is not very awesome. Yeah, standing water. Yeah, that's scent. And there's nothing I can do about that until they respond. That's kind of why I'm kind of waiting for them to respond. One way or another, they're probably going to try and charge me for this, and I'm probably going to lose my deposit. And that's fine, because I've lost 100% of my deposits for every place I've ever lived in my entire life. So that's just sort of something you accept walking into a place. The problem is, if I start actually pulling up that carpet and dealing with that, they might actually be upset at that. So, yay. Okay. The reason I bring up the flooding thing isn't just to whine about my life. Yes, I did Lunatic Rift. In fact, I already have it all downloaded. The reason I brought it up is because if they are going to go ahead and replace the concrete, there's a decent chance we might have to stop streaming for however long that takes. Now, hypothetically, that should only be like a 1 or 2 day thing, depending on who they get to do the job, because that would be a contractor work at that point. But I just thought I'd let you know, if one day we randomly say, so, we're not streaming today, that's why. Because the thing I want most of my life right now is even more delays to streaming. Speaking of delays to streaming. So, actually, this is the opposite of that. Some of you may know that we have a process called the Floodgates, where we stop streaming for a while in order to record ruminations for the coming year. Ideally, the time at which we would be doing that would be next month. For various reasons, not the least of which being the fact that we are so goddamn behind on everything, and have had so many delays for so many different reasons, we're going to go ahead and not do the Floodgates next month like we should do. We're going to just push that back and possibly never do it again. So, that's where we're at with that, and I just wanted everyone to know, if you're wondering, where's the Floodgates? Because we were supposed to open up voting this month, if you remember, for Floodgates. This month would have been nominations, next month would have been voting, December would have been recording. That's how we do that. But we're not doing any of that. We're flinging the ruminations out the window. They're gone, they're dead, forever and ever and ever, or possibly we'll just do them later. I haven't decided yet. Thank you, Sign of the Emperor, as always. And welcome to the Year Club. Much appreciated. Thank you. If you know where you want that anniversary sub to go towards, please let me know. By the way, Vigilant, you never told me what you want yours to go towards. No, Dream Whisperer. Put simply. Dawn of War 1. You got it. Hang on. That's unusual. Laura Loaded just sent me a voice call for some reason. I didn't even remember I actually had, remember I had that up still. So let me go ahead and exit that there. I completely spaced that I had that up. You could tell I'm screwed up by this flooding thing because I didn't even realize I still had Discord up. Ugh. Hi, Mr. Reloaded. What's up? Sorry, everyone who just thought that someone at Discord's calling them. That's me. That's me. I apologize. I guess that's actually it. So floodgates, voting on Elden Ring, and flooding. uh, um, let's hit some random news. This is actually be a really short lore week, which is fine, because ironically, I have Trek rewrite stuff to work on. Go figure. Although actually, I have to do theater work first, and then I'll do Trek rewrite stuff. You get the point. So there's only 2 bits of news today. That's why I just put these both under random news. How many of you have seen the Twitch pay-to-win thing? It's still in beta phase, but I mean, considering they've been slowly rolling this out over months at this point, I'm pretty sure this is something that's going to actually go live. So about, oh gosh, 2 weeks ago now, so, okay, hang on. Let's walk that back for a second. You remember how there's this thing where you can, once a week, actually, if enough people do enough stuff on the thing, like donate enough points, I think it was, we would get boosted. You remember that? And that happened pretty regularly, and you had like one day, 24 hours, in which to get boosted, and that would actually push you to, you know, the front page. It would give you some front page exposure for a brief period of time. You remember that? Well, Twitch is rolling out that system in a new layer where they're going to allow people to pay money for that, for the boosting, in order to boost you to the front page. Do I need to explain anything? Like, do I need to add anything to that? And I quote, "This new paid program was born out of feedback from the community. Streamers wanted more opportunities to have their stream promoted and wanted the promotion to be more impactful. That meaningfulness, then, seems to be Twitch implying the impact is more of a monetary value." "We think that paying to help a creator grow their community will be worthwhile to their supporters." Now, this has been going on for the last 2 weeks. Hasn't really done anything. This is before, well, this went live before the news of the leak went live. Let's put it that way, Mike Kimono. But yeah, the big will get bigger and the small will get smaller. This is exactly what's going to happen with this. This is a stupid system. And I'm sorry, I don't want to sound like I'm saying eat the rich. But, as I've said many times, mathematically speaking, if you're already big, it's easier to get bigger. If you're already small, it's easier to get smaller. That's true economically, that's true in terms of viewer base, that's true, it's just math. That's how that works. So, yeah. That sucks. Now, the good news is I actually don't care about this. I really don't. I don't want a larger viewer base. I know that sounds like a strange thing to say. Like, obviously, I do want a larger viewer base. I don't want to say that I don't. But I don't want to have, 10,000 viewers, right? That's insanity. That's crazy. I don't want that. I would much rather rely on a smaller viewer base of loyal people who support me and help me to pay for things like possibly dealing with flooding in my front room. So, or fixing my nose. It's cool. Yeah, exactly, Raskar. I don't want. I could recognize almost every name on. In fact, actually, I recognize every name on my chat log right now. I can glance that. Oh, then Mr. Red's gone. That's cool. By the way, if we have a mod up, Chaotic Danny, they're the one who can help you with that. And if we don't, then that sucks. So just wait for a mod to show up. I'm sure one will show up at some point. But anyways, this feature's dumb. This feature's stupid. And is just Twitch trying to make more money. Let's just be blunt about it. That's all this is Twitch trying to squeeze a few more pennies or a few more dollars out of this. What is the cost? So right now, there are 1,000 recommendations for $1 and 3,000 recommendations for $3. What that means, just to put that in a bit of perspective for how pathetic that is, because that probably sounds like a big deal. What that is the next 1,000 times that the main page is pinged, you will be pushed into the recommended tab towards the bottom of the page for those 1,000 people. If you don't understand why I say that's so pathetic, 1,000 people is probably less than a second or so of just regular viewers, just people going to Twitch pages, right? Hang on, it actually gets worse than that, because an enormous amount of people who go to Twitch don't go to the front page, which is where this is at. The only places these recommended things shows up is on the front page. So, yeah, that's a joke. To put this into a bit of perspective, imagine if you could throw up, yeah, exactly, Rascor. Imagine if you could throw up a thing where 1,000 people see your television ad, right? What are you linking me? I don't have that kind of hair. My eyes aren't blue either. Yeah, it's. I mean, I can't even explain this. I'm sorry. My headache is preventing me from everything. The point here is that is nobody. That is a fraction of people who probably won't actually click your thing anyways. Yeah. Chaotic Danny, if you could whisper Valvedrix for an invite, she could probably help you out with that. You know what's really stupid about this? If I could just rant about this for just 1 second. Thank you, Valvedrix. I have talked for literally decades. I have literally been carrying this freaking flag since the 90s that ad revenue is a lie, that it's actually a fallacy, and is an inaccurate industry that everyone just sort of agrees with, because that way it serves as a bedrock for people to determine how much money they should charge for what things, right? But it's a fake clicks, eyeballs. It's a fake currency, right? It's meaningless. I've never seen anything to disagree with me on that. I'm saying that wrong. I've never seen anything that's changed my mind on that. That's a better way to put that. And I've seen a lot of things that has increased my opinion on that. But that's what this is. Twitch obviously makes ad revenue money. But what this is them trying to charge us for ads. Think about it. Oh, we'll ensure that 1,000 eyeballs get to see your thing if you give us this money. Anyways, moving on. So that's dumb. We're not doing that. If you remember, we actually, I didn't know I could do this. We turned that off. That is actually disabled on my channel, the boosting thing, because that's just stupid. And kind of messed up, when you think about it. If someone wants to support me, like, say, Captain Vice over there, then by all means support me. I really do appreciate it. I have recently spent large chunks of money on things like my nose. I do very much appreciate it. But I don't want to, like, force you into it. I don't want to guilt you into it. I don't want to connive you into it. If you're going to support me, great. If you're not, that's cool. Thank you, Captain Vice. Very much. This is also why nothing I do is locked behind a paywall, by the way. Well, you probably see why I wanted to pull the plug on the boosting thing, Blue Elf Alex, especially now. Not that my voice matters, I suppose, at this point. It's... now, okay, I know I just said that you're awesome for supporting me, but that wasn't a call to support me, Scion. God damn it. I just, oh, God. Okay. I'm okay. Those are all new games, aren't there? Would you stop? Would you stop? I paid for the surgery, Hazardous. It's fine. I paid up front. Right? That's how that works for cosmetic surgeries. Because it was... I think I mentioned this. This is officially referred to as a cosmetic surgery. And you have to pay up front for cosmetic surgeries. Okay, let me write all these down first. Oh my gosh. No, stop! Hey, Galtori, I haven't seen you in a while. How you settling in? I hope you're settling in well, because I know that was an issue. No, I'm not. I want Venter's comment is literally, I'm paying some bills and you guilted me into this. That's not how it works. You didn't even tell me what you want to put it towards, Venters. Hang on, I gotta figure out what Scion just donated for, because I think several of these aren't actually on the list. No, this is not a donation train. That's not what this is not. This is not a donation train. I can't take this as morning. I mean, at this rate, maybe I should just go ahead and actually hire a contractor my freaking self if they don't deal with it. Deal with the freaking flooding. Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. I had to think about that, Venture. Sorry, my brain is just is melted for some reason. I don't even know why. Yes, Von Falkenstein. Yes, this was a cosmetic surgery. This is one of the reasons why I didn't even bother to try and... So one of the things I could have done... Damn it, Arm Devil! One of the things I could have done... Not really, Plutonia, believe it or not. I have gotten the occasional complaint of someone who doesn't like my overall style of streaming. Where I, you know, where I sit and talk for periods during the stream. And it's like, okay, let's talk about this section that we just covered, you know? Stuff like that. I have gotten those kind of complaints before. But that's about it. And honestly, those people are probably just looking for a different type of stream. Let's just be honest with ourselves. One of the things that I could have done is I could have signed up for insurance, which is actually next month, is when we've got the rollover for that. And gone ahead and let the insurance go, and then I would have to wait, I think it's 3 months. I forget the exact, it's 3 or 4 months. And then submit this to get covered by the insurance, and then do the whole surgery thing. But A, that would mean going for about 5 or so months more without being able to breathe. B, I would have to sign up for insurance, which is not cheap. And C, there's a surprisingly high chance that insurance wouldn't have covered it. Now, before you jump onto me, I do know the path I would have to go to get insurance to cover that. What I'd have to do is I'd have to go find an ENT doctor and actually say, hey, I need you to put in writing as an official proclamation that you think that this is an impediment to my ability to function. And that would mean I'd have to prove that. Then I'd have to submit that to the insurance company. Then they would fight that. And then I would have to push back against that. And there would be a conflict as we're going back and forth through that until either I won or I lost. It would, I don't know which, because again, that's kind of a coin flip whenever you're fighting the insurance companies. And if I was to win, then I would be able to get my insurance or get my surgery. Or I could just drop the money up front and it's actually about the same price as the 3 years of insurance. Never mind how much I would have to pay on top of the insurance covering whatever little it would cover. You can see why I made the choice that I made. Well, I hope so too, Loke, and thank you very much for watching my show. And stop it! Sorry. Company of Heroes. I think it's already on the list, but I know I can play that one anyways. I'll never take your sub, Armed Devil. I am a Jedi. Wait, no, I'm not. Yeah, no, you're exactly right, Fusion Kettle. The whole point of insurance companies. This is not a joke. This is not some kind of meme or cynicism. At least here in the States, insurance companies have an entire process and scripting. It's a script they go through specifically in order to prevent you from getting what you want. Now, they are still legally obligated to eventually pay for stuff. That's how that works. But they will make you jump through so many hoops, and they will make you go through so much crap in the hopes of making you fail, in the hopes of making you just give up, right? There's actually a term for that. I can't remember what, it's like frustration economics or something like that. That's a real concept. I'm not just making that up. A lot of people will do that with regards to subscriptions. You know, they'll sign you up for something, and then they'll make unsubscribing a colossal pain. And so some people will just stay subscribed because it's so aggravating to unsubscribe. Stuff like that, right? You know, I can't remember what that's called officially, but there's a real economic term for that, and it's garbage. Yeah. Yeah, it's exactly chaotic. No, you're exactly right. Make it more effort than it's worth. And that's how insurance companies make their money. Anyways, see, I just dropped the money. I'm sorry. So now, it looks like people have stopped donating. Now I gotta bow for like 3 minutes. Okay, so first of all, let's just jot these down. So I don't know when this started. I got a sub from Zlartek for the Metroid block. I got Shadow Machine dropping $50 on my face for Kingdom Hearts 1. I got Chaotic Danny dropping $20 on my face for the Zelda block. I got Venters dropping $50 on my face for Romance of the Three Kingdoms 14. I've got Sign of the Emperor dropping $120 on my face for Franbo and some other stuff I'm going to look into later. Just to say it out loud, just to make sure, because I always say that. Destroy All Humans 2 Remake, El Shaddai, Ascension of the Metatron, Tor. It took me a second to figure out what's SW. Tor, Legacy of the Sith. I don't even know what that is off the top of my head. And Warhammer 40k Chaos Gate Demon Hunters. I guess I'm going to have to look at those later. Then we have NLG Arm Devil, who dropped $27 on my face. My face is very dropped on. He didn't put it towards anything, Arm Devil. It's the latest Tor expansion. Okay, I'll just put it towards that then. Tor, Legacy of the Sith, and I'll look up the other ones later. Actually, I should write these down. I've actually played El Shaddai, believe it or not. Arm Devil! Let it! It's just, I can't. Or 40k. Chaos Gate, Demon Hunter. Need to write all this down. Question mark. And then, what's the other one? Destroy All Humans 2 Remake. No, you didn't. I am so your real father. I am your official legal father. That's the way that matters. I married your mother. We have sex every night. And that means I can tell you what to do. Now, what did you want to put that towards, Arm Devil? I still haven't seen you put that towards something. And then we have Loke the Night Reaper, which is towards Company Heroes, and Timonash, which is towards Wasteland 3. I mean, I'm probably old enough, Arm Devil. I shouldn't presume your age. I apologize. I am certainly old enough to have a child. That's all I meant by that. Aha! Okay, so apparently it's going towards FF14. So you say, can you put it towards an FF14 low run? No! However, can you put it towards one of the FF14 expansions? Yes. And let's be honest, that's going to kind of be a low run anyways. So I am going to make you pick an expansion. I recommend ARR. Start at the beginning. Shadowbringers. Okay, so we already did that. So no. It's the only one we've already covered. Damn it, Geltori. It's Endwalker. No again. That's already funded. Take 3! And if a 14th low run would be very long. Okay, Heavensward. Fine. I'm going to have to start... If Heavensward gets too funded, I'm going to have to start dumping Dealer's Choice on everything but Heavensward. We can't start the next FF14 thing on Heavensward, right? Like, we got to go back and do the bad ones. We got to get the bad ones over with. I'm going to have to start pushing Stormblood and ARR. Okay. Now I got to bow for I don't even know how long. That is so long. So let's just go down the list. Thank you, Shadow Machine. Very, very much. As always. And thank you, Chaotic Danny, very much. I don't know if I said this out loud, but I did get that for the Zelda block. And then we have Venters. Wait, hang on. We also have Mr. Red. I didn't even notice Mr. Red in the middle of that. This is why I say to... No, Mr. Red. If you want to put that towards something else, let me know. Well, I'm actually... as weird as this may sound, I want to review Stormblood more than the other ones. If for no other reason, because of the fact that... So, I disliked Stormblood so much going through it that I quit FF14 over it. Now, make of that what you will. There's other competing problems there. There's other issues. But Stormblood made me quit FF14. So, I'm curious how it would actually hold up in an actual review format, in terms of the level design, in terms of the dungeons, in terms of the overworld questing, and of course, the story of the characters, etc. Because, it's hard... You know, if you ask me from memory, I would just be like, well, I remember quitting the game entirely over it, and I had to be dragged back when Shadowbringers came out. And the only reason I came back for Shadowbringers was because it was something that was donated for. So, you know, I've got that baggage to overcome. You know what I mean? ARR, I just remember as being boring. So, and I've been through it like 3 times at this point. Anyways, so. Where was I? I was down to... Venters! Venters, thank you very, very much. I mean, Garnet is royalty, right? That makes sense. That she would have that. Thank you, Venters, very much. Always appreciate. Thank you, Scion of the Emperor, very, very much. I will look into those other games unless they're already on the list. I don't actually know. I know Frambo's on the list. Isn't Frambo like really close to being funded? Hang on. Pull up the spreadsheet. It is. It's about halfway. It's here. Okay. Remember what Frambo is off the top of my head? I know I looked into it. I know you donated for it. I know you're not the only person who's donated for it. Thank you, Scion of the Emperor. Always appreciate, sir. Thank you. That's because a lot of money is put towards it, despite only, I think, 3 people putting towards it. Something like that. Thank you, Arm Devil, NLG Arm Devil. For the donations, and then the other donation, and then the sub. Putting that towards Heavensward. I should probably type in FF14. I'm pretty sure I'll know what Heavensward means, but you know. We got a thing from Timonash. Thank you. Thank you very much. I put that towards Wasteland 3. Mr. Ed, thank you very much. I'll put that towards absolutely nothing. No, I'm putting that towards I'm taking the choice. It's going to ARR. It's going towards ARR. And then I just got a sub from Lunaruth, who is hopefully going to have a smooth and swift recovery, and she's going to be awesome. Forward to hearing her tryouts for the next theater, which I'm not going to say it. I'm still kind of staying quiet about it. She knows what it is. Like 3 people know what it is. I didn't catch what you want to put that towards, Lunaruth. Exactly, Arm Devil. Arr! FF14, yarr! You might not. I can check, Mr. Red. I can check. Hang on. Pull up ARR. ARR is pretty unfunded. That's hard to say. ARR. Apparently several things that start with... here we go. Oh, wow. Nobody's... 4 people have put $16 towards ARR. I'm going to have to start dropping Dealer's Choice on that. My God. Meanwhile, Heaven's Word has $584 from 27 people put towards it. So there's a little bit of a gap to overcome there. Because I'm not suicidal, Renegade Devi. I think. Wing Commander, hang on. Looks like that would be Wing Commander 1. Put it towards Wing Commander 1. No, it's technically possible to play FF14 1.0. It's not legally possible, but it's technically possible. Oh yeah, is Stormblood even on the list? Hang on, Stormblood. There's Stormblood has had $11 put towards it from 4 people. Nobody wants me to stream Stormblood. This is funny. They're like, don't review Stormblood, don't review ARR, just skip over it. And then Galtori. No! Wait, okay, I have an excuse to pretend Galtori didn't donate. Oh, thank God. Okay. Thank you very much, Chaotic Danny. I'm a little stuttery, and right now I can't imagine why. I will put that towards FF14 ARR. Realm Reborn. I've actually heard it said, I wish I'd thought of this, that Final Fantasy XIV kind of went through the same thing I did, if you think about it. You know, FF14 1.0 is probably, you know, either me being in jail for a crime I didn't commit, or me being homeless on the street, take your pick. And somehow, I'm here now. Right? And the more you know about the specifics of both FF14 and my life, the more it's just mind-blowing that we were able to turn that around. And I do say we, because that was not a singular effort, that was a group effort. You made my headache worse, Galtori. I mean, everyone did. I can't just point to you. Happy birthday, Galtori. You never answered my question. Are you settling in good? Well? Are you settling in well? You also didn't tell me what you want to put that towards. Unless you want me to just divvy that up as far as Dealer's Choice, because that, you know. Yeah, I wasn't even going to talk about nearly dying from kidney stones. That's not even... yeah. It's funny. In my mind... okay, go ahead, Galtori. In my mind, Hannibal is insane and evil for dropping even more money on me. Hang on. Dendo N. Thank you, Dendo, very much for the sub. I do always appreciate that. Thank you. If you know what you want to put that towards, please let me know. I'll look at it on Discord. I assume you're not adding anything new. Yeah, apparently I'm just going to have to call this whole block in the timestamps donations. Alright, then I'll look at it on Discord, Galtori. Thank you so much. Before I don't, I do want to say thank you, Catabo, very, very, very much. I do always appreciate. So Dendo's putting it towards Trails in the Sky. You got it. 2, to be clear. Catabo's putting it towards FF14, A Realm Reborn. It's actually easier to say A Realm Reborn than ARR, at least for me. My mouth just gets stuttering on ARR. Right? ARR. I'm in the same boat, Lunae Ruth. I'm actually burning so many more calories. I don't know if I told you all this. So last week was the first week that I could do actual physical work. And last Monday, I did a lot of physical work in terms of dealing with the garage and the backyard and all sorts of like actual stuff. You know, we pulled up a tree, we pulled up a bush. And I was about 15, 20 minutes into that. And I was like shaking. And I'm like, what the hell am I shaking for? It was because I was burning so many additional calories that I'm used to burning. Because my metabolism is changing. We talked about this. My metabolism is changing. I had to go in and eat another meal. Like, what the hell? I'm not used to this. I'm also pretty sure I'm losing weight, as in fat. I should clarify. I think I'm gaining muscle because my chest is actually even bigger than before, but whatever. But yeah, more oxidation. I can't even talk, Geltori. You killed me. So I'll go ahead and answer your question, Mr. Red, because it's not actually a spoiler. The part that's of Stormblood that made me quit, I'm not going to tell you the narrative beats because it doesn't matter, was we were doing a quest, and it's like, okay, we're doing this quest. And I was grouped with Pax, right? And we were grouped with Gary. And we're like, okay, we're going through this one section. And then all three of us had to leave group to do a quest. And it was just a go-to kill a thing quest. Then we had to all group up again. And then that took a minute. And then we'd fly to the next area, or drive, excuse me, we'd mount up, go to the next area, which was in the same zone, so it was right over there. We ended up at the spot, and then we had to leave group again. And then we did that quest, and then we had to group up again. Then we had to go to the next spot, and at the third spot, there was one of those lengthy cutscenes before an instance, which FF14 does periodically. But what happened is you go through this whole cutscene. At the end of the cutscene, it's like this big awesome, and we're gonna fight this thing, and it's gonna be great, and there's this awesome music playing, and it's this big buildup, and then this big red lettered text shows up on the screen saying, hey, cannot start instance, you're in a group. And that's the exact moment I quit FF14. As I've said before, my biggest complaint by a huge margin about FF14 is, and always has been, the fact that it is anti-co-op. It is frustrating as hell how much of FF14 is solo only. And we were just sick of that. We were so sick of that. And so Pax quit and hasn't been back. Gary quit and hasn't been back. I quit and I only came back because I was paid to. I'm glad I did. Shadowbringers was awesome, but you could see the frustration there. Okay. Thank you, Ross, very much. You didn't say what you want to put it towards. It's probably Tangled. Just a guess. Now, I missed something else there. Hang on. So Catabo said something. I wanted to catch what that was. Looks like you've just been busy. Well, yeah, I understand that completely. Oh, by the way, I actually want to make this kind of a news thing. Darkrai came back last night. Anyone remember Darkrai? So she's okay. You know, she's alive, which is it's always good to know, you know, considering the current times. You know, every time, I know that sounds so morbid, but every single time we lose someone like that and they just drop off the map without warning, I always worry that something happened. Not without cause, I feel like pointing out. So she's good. Darkrai's good. That's awesome. Hopefully we'll see her in the future at some level. Yeah. So anyways, hang on. So Mr. Red asked that question. There was another question I was going to respond to before I move forward. And I can't find it. I guess I'm... If anybody asked something and I missed it, please repeat it, because I'm just an idiot and I'm stupid. And I'll write down Galtori's cavalcade of nonsense. Oh, Galtori responded. You're getting relatively well. You have to entertain on a weekly basis? Oh my god, Galtori. You're my grandmother now. I mean, eventually... I had to, Mr. Red. It's a plot quest. Yeah, Darkrai has a puppy now, too. That's also cool. To explain that a little bit, Galtor, I'm not calling you old. My grandmother, so my grandfather worked as a union representative, which meant he had tremendous political power and a lot of financial wealth. My grandmother was the person who actually managed everything and dealt with everything. She was the financial brain, she dealt with the finances, she took care of the house, and of course, she was the one who kept networking, right? I learned a lot about networking and politics from my grandmother, consequently. If I was to actually go ahead and run for council member or for representative, which I've thought about doing several times, I would go to her to get an endorsement and have her connect me with the right people. Anyways, that's what I meant, Galtori, is that you have turned into the queen. Let's just call that what it is. For those of you unaware of the connotations there, back in several times, historically speaking, the king's job was to be big and obvious and fight and do, and the queen's job was to actually run the country. That's a little dismissive. That's not going into full details, but it's kind of the direction there. Oh, that's being split up. Thank you, Shikor, as always. Very much appreciate. So, Galtori, do you want me to bow for, how long would that be? Hang on. Let's do a little math. Hang on. Three minutes and 20 seconds is what that would be. I can do that. Hang on, let's find a song that's 3 minutes and 20 seconds long. Give me a second. There we go. This is actually a 3 minute 20 second long right here. And in just a second, it'll be a 3 minute 20 second long. Second long song. I could talk. Yeah, I actually have another bit of random news. Wait, and thank you, Galtori. In fact, I'm going to do this without support. So I can only hold myself up with my arm, with my back, just to make it harder. And I've got my arms out so I can prove that I'm doing this without support. Breathe while doing it, too. It's nice. Normally, in the old days when I'd bow, I'd have to basically hold my breath while I did it. Honestly, it's going to be harder on my arms than anything else. Try holding your arms out for 3 minutes sometime. Just for fun. And I do it with weights, like buckets. That's always struck me as a horrible punishment, by the way. Just hold buckets out for several minutes. That's terrible. I mean, I get that the point of punishment is to hurt someone. That's the whole goal involved there. But it's like, it's gradient, you know, maybe less horrible, maybe more productive. I don't know. Let's just go for slave labor. I think that's the best way. It's just turn all, you know how there's that Batman story or that Darkwing Duck story or that DCAU story where like he just goes full Punisher and just takes over everything and he assigns horrible punishments for everything you do, and he just kills people for, like, jaywalking. Instead of jaywalking, into the mines. Okay, we're halfway there. I can tell because where the song's at. I can make this. I can do it. I'd say, how many people are doing this with me? And then I realized that the answer is 0. I can't even look at chat right now. Meanwhile, everyone in chat is just spamming about how terrible I am. I mean, I did die 497 times at Bloodborne. I think that's a pretty good litmus test for how terrible of a person I am. If you think about it. 497 plus, sorry. Oh, is that it? That's it. Ah! Oh! Ah, okay. Ah. Thank you, Galtori. That's true, Mr. Matternaut. You're absolutely right. You're absolutely right. Damn it, Mr. Red, please. I was actually legitimately afraid for just a second that someone was going to be donating in the middle of that. My shoulders are a little sore. That's okay. I got strong shoulders. I can do it. I can do it. Oh, thank God, Mr. Red. Oh, thank you, God. All right, so now that I'm done screaming and dying and crying, I do actually have another lore weak point. I don't even remember what it is. I gotta look up. This is why I write this stuff down. Oh yeah, this is actually potentially big news. Some of you probably already heard of this because this has been going on for about 2 weeks now. Which one, Valerian? Also, what the hell is non-alcoholic whiskey? Is that water? Oh no, it's dirt water, isn't it? EA is trying to do a hostile takeover of Take-Two. Now, this is actually interesting in various ways. So let's start with the basics. Now, this is opinion, of course, but if I had to rate the relative horribleness... Oh, gotcha, Valerian, gotcha. If I had to rate the horribleness of Take-Two versus EA, EA is much less horrible of a company than Take-Two. Take-Two is awful. Take-Two is actually one of the worst gaming companies out there. Might actually be the worst. The only other two that might be worse than Take-Two are Ubisoft and Active Blizzard. And I put that asterisk might because the thing that would make them worse is something that hasn't been proven. But Take-Two, in terms of just business practices, in terms of mafia-like approach, in terms of thuggish behavior, in terms of scummy tactics with regards to their company, with regards to their employees, with regards to their subdivisions, as in like the other companies who do games for them, in regards to their contractors, in regards to their customers, they're scum. We've actually reported many times on Take-Two and how awful they are. So, EA taking over Take-Two would be an interesting thing, because they might change that, and they might not. Like it or not, EA is one of the least bad gaming companies out there right now, as far as the large-scale ones. Now, why does everyone hate on EA more than anyone else? Memes? I'm serious. I don't just mean memes as in lol, I mean memes as in the concept of mimetic, whatever it's called. The term that meme comes from, I can't think of what it's called. Mimetic blah, right? EA is well known because what EA does is nice, big, open things. And so everyone looks at EA like, huh. And then EA does another thing, and people look at EA more like going, huh. And so there's a lot more eyeballs on EA. And that's just been true since the 90s, right? That's a very old concept. Yeah, exactly. EA got voted worst company in America over so many worse companies. including my personal favorite, Bank of America, which is also probably the worst bank in America, ironically enough. So yeah, it does nice, big, obvious, horrible things. It's probably worth noting that EA isn't nearly as scumbaggy internally. Don't mistake me. I'm not trying to defend EA, because EA is still a bad company. But they at least take care of their employees, and they at least actually have a decent working environment. At least they have an actual support network. Not support network. Customer support that's worth a damn, right? EA does several things right that most of these other companies substantially fail at. So, woo. So, as long as they're not trying to kill your studio. Yeah. I mean, I have nothing to add to that, job. And again, I am not defending EA. But if you put a gun to my head and said you have to work for EA or any of those other companies, I would pick EA. 10 times out of 10. They are substantially less bad. Now, there's another layer to that I'm not going to talk about. In fact, the only way I could talk about it is if it was Polemic Day. And frankly, I don't actually want to talk about that. Because it's a... It's also supposition, which I don't want to speculate on. But I stand by my statement. EA is the least bad of the bads. So whether or not... last I checked... Yes, Plutonium, I haven't checked in a while. Last I checked... EA taking over Take-Two might change that and might not. EA might just eat Take-Two and then business as usual, which means that EA has just statistically become a worse company by virtue of having Take-Two under its umbrella, right? They might eat Take-Two and try to improve some of the business practices. EA might get worse as an aggregate by following through on Take-Two practices. There's a lot of ways that this could go, but either way, this is actually fairly big news because EA is probably going to succeed at this. Now, that is speculation. So, let's talk you through some of the specifics. EA reached out to Take-Two and said, we want to buy you out. Open, above board. It wasn't news because these kind of offers are placed all the time, right? Companies are always trying to buy other companies. So, EA is like, hey, we want to buy you. And Take-Two said, sure. Then EA said, okay. Then EA reached out to the shareholders of Take-Two directly, which they can do, by the way. That's allowed. And said, hey, we want to buy your shares. The shareholders were like, Then Take-Two was like, we must hold firm. We must not sell our shares. And then EA continued to push, and yeah, this has officially reached the point now, actually as of last week, this has officially reached the point of being classified as a hostile takeover. EA is actually offering 26 a share, I actually wrote it down, to the shareholders, and is completely bypassing all the normal methods, and is just trying to grab a majority stake in Take-Two. Now, whether or not that will succeed depends entirely on the shareholders, and I don't mean people like you or me. The number of shares that would be required to get a majority stake is huge. This is a billions-dollar deal. But if any of those particular firms, all of those holding companies, which is who holds those shares, actually decide to sell to EA, then EA will successfully take over Take-Two. Here's the other little anecdote to this one. This morning, I checked several of my economic news sites on the news about EA. And specifically, every single economic analyst that I follow all backed EA on this play. They say EA is the smart move, and buying into EA will absolutely is the right call, and you should go with this, and blah, blah, blah. Now, anything that an economic analyst says should be taken with a grain of salt, including me. The reason I mention that, though, is a lot of the people who are going to be getting those surveys, probably already, saying, do you want to sell to EA on this matter, are going to be looking at those analytical opinions to decide whether or not they should do that. Or they're just going to let their broker decide, and guess what the broker is going to be looking at? I would say at this point, EA probably has maybe about a 75% chance to actually succeed at this hostile takeover. Take-Two has indicated that they definitely want to stand firm, which is interesting to me. I figured they would want to take the paycheck and run. Because the people actually in charge of making those decisions up top would have gotten a pretty big payday, and then they could just bow out and retire and go swim in their money vault, or whatever the hell rich people do. I don't know what rich people do. Galtori, what do you do? I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I'm going to be following this one because this is interesting. I suppose I should also mention as like an anecdote at the end of this that the Active Blizzard lawsuits continue to be... I don't even know how to summarize it. It continues to be a legal mess. To be... I don't know how else to put it. I really don't. I'm trying to remember the name of this freaking YouTuber. Hoenglaw, I think. Or is it Hoenlaw? I'm just going to plug him. If you want to know more about the latest development on that, watch him. He has like an hour and 14-minute video in it, which I have not seen. I'm going to give you the super quick summary here. So there is a group, a unionization group, which has levied a 31-point document. And each of those 31 points is a complaint leveled at this whole thing. Okay, that's cool. I've actually glanced at those 31 points. This is a PR move. This is them trying to encourage Active Blizzard to unionize. That's what this is. The actual legal standing of this is actually really flimsy. And of those 31 points, maybe like 5 of them are legitimate legal complaints. And the rest of it is just, you should totally unionize, you should totally unionize. I am summarizing, that's my point. Like I said, if you want the full details, go watch. I think it's Hoeglaw. Let me see if I can find this guy. Hang on. It's Hoeglaw. H-O-E-G. There it is. He has a whole video on it. Like I said, it's like an hour long. There you go. If I feel like I already answered that, Sean. Will that be good for us? Let me answer this directly. Will that be good for us if EA acquires Take-Two? And that's the answer to that. That's a good point, Galtori. Oh my god. I didn't even think about it. No. Venters. What rich people do is they make Squid Games. Or whatever that... What's that show called? The Korean show? It is Squid Game, right? I'm getting that right? I haven't seen it. I just know it exists. I'm not a fan of watching people get shot over and over. I prefer to play Doom. Wait. Anyways. How many shards does it take to... You know, I can actually look that up right now. Give me a moment. Let me pull up my account. Let's see here. I'm just going to buy 70 billion shares of this. There we go. Alright. 70 billion shares. Take-Two. Take-Two Interactive. There it is. TTW0. It's not going to tell me, is it? I'd probably have to actually dig into that to find. I figured it would tell me here. It's only telling me how many have been trading. I can tell how many shares have traded in the last day. 1.3 million. Think of that what you will. Anyways, demons are not people. That's all I got for lore week. It's supposed to be a really short lore week. It's an hour and 4 minutes. It's supposed to be really short.